Everybody, good morning and welcome to the Khushwant Singh Literary Festival in London. Our session is called A Warm Welcome, so let's try and keep it that way. And I'm going to begin by asking Rahul to make some opening remarks to welcome you all here today. Rahul, are you not making... Oh, so I'm going to make the welcoming remarks. Well, so I'm delighted to be here among old and new friends to celebrate the life and legacy of Khushwant Singh, and also to remind you that the theme of this year's festival is Heal the World. We won't obviously heal the world in the next 2 days and the half day in Cambridge later in the week, but at least we can focus on this because, as we all know, the world is really not very well at the moment. I'd like to give my own thanks to Rahul and also to Niloufar Bilamoria and her team, who have worked so hard to put this all together so smoothly that it will look as if it just came together naturally. It didn't, of course, and there's been a great deal of work, so thank you, Niloufar. My job over the next couple of days is to be here as the MC or the Sutradhara. I will give very short introductions to the speakers. Longer versions are available in the programme before handing over to a moderator to introduce the session. But my main job is to play the bad guy. I need to keep everybody to strict time limits without embarrassing our speakers, our hosts, or myself. For speakers, I will wave at you 5 minutes before you are due to end, so please don't try and pretend you can't see me. I'm wearing bright colours. I'll stand up 1 minute before you have to end and walk on stage when time is up. And then I hope we don't have to find out. But enough threats, because I know everybody will be unselfish and behave in an exemplary manner. And so now we'll begin with Rahul saying a few words to welcome you today. Welcome, Rahul.
Thank you, Rachel. You've actually said most of what I wanted to say, but I'll just mention the partners who've made this literary festival possible. Without them, we would not have had this literary festival. First, I'd like to mention Zed Kama, who got us through a very difficult period, and again, who is sitting here amongst us. Zed, could you just stand up and
I'd like him to come on the
stage. And Zed, could you please come on the stage also? Yeah. And then Dr. Yusuf, known as Yuku Hamid, who has taken this literary festival to Cambridge for the first time. Yuku, I please request you to also come here. Yuko, I should mention, is the head of a big pharmaceutical company called Cipla in India. And he is the man who, he'll tell you more about it than when you get a chance to talk to him. He's the man who helped millions of Africans overcome the AIDS epidemic that had hit Africa by providing the medicine for AIDS much cheaper than the other multinational companies were doing, for which I hope one day he gets the Nobel Prize. Yeah. And Heather Elgood, without whom we would not have had this Lit Fest in SOAS. So Hetty, please come up. Thank you very much. And thank you, SOAS, for giving us this auditorium. I don't know whether Lord Karan Bilamoria is here, but he's also one of our great supporters. Anyway, he's promised to come at some point, so he'll also be coming here. And then we've got Chan and Pushpinder Chaudhary, who are here, who helped us with telling us exactly how we should conduct the Lit Fest, because they've got so much experience of conducting their own cinema festival for many years here. So Chan and Pushpinder, could you also please come up here? Yeah, or yeah, and could Zed, could you say a few words, or Yoku, please come up here and say a few words, or you can say it.
Okay, I'll start.
Yeah.
First of all,
Sit and talk.
okay, sit and talk. There you are. Good. First of all, I want to say welcome to everyone over here. Thanks for coming. And most importantly, we've got to thank Rahul and we've got to thank Nilofer, both of whom I have known over many, many years in Bombay. So I know exactly how difficult it very often is to bring these things together. So any help that can be given. And here comes Lord Billimoria.
Please.
10 minutes.
So I don't want to say too much. I think it's interesting to see what the theme of the conference is. It's to heal the world, and clearly this is a very correct time to take up something like that, and that's why I'm very interested to hear what many of the speakers have to say around this theme and anything else. The other thing of interest to me is that you wonder why, right, people come to literary festivals. What do they come to literary festivals to hear? Do they come to hear people talk? Do they come to hear, famous people themselves, who often are the people who talk? Or do they come to sort of meet their friends? And that is, for me, something very interesting. And, you've got to look at the sort of topics which are being discussed. And we hope that they sort of center around something to do with this healing process, which Rahul talks about. Clearly, the world needs it. And I think nearer home, I think particularly we need that between the countries of India and Pakistan. So I won't say anything more now, but it would be quite fascinating to hear what people think about how to go about this process. So thank you very much. Thank you.
You want me to continue?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Well, I think I'm here, probably the oldest among the crowd, and I can only talk to you about my own personal relationship with Khushwant Singh. Now, he has been an old family friend of my father, and way back from 1942, when we knew Rahul's grandfather as well. And my connection with Khushwant Singh virtually ended around 1972-73, when my father passed away. And Khushwant Singh wrote a very nice article in the Illustrated Weekly, where he was the editor in 1972. This is on the 29th of October, 1972, in which he mentioned the close friendship between the Khushwant Singh family and my family. And probably that's why Rahul invited me here today. And the other connection I have with Rahul is that he and I are both alumni of Cambridge University. And I hope that most of you will also attend the festival on the 5th of June in Christ College in Cambridge. When my father passed away, Khushwant Singh wrote an article, a full-page article in the Illustrated Weekly. And I'd just like to say what he wrote about my father, which is very touching. And this is what he said: a touching phenomenon of a post that my father loved eating mangoes. And that's what he wrote. He said he planted an orchard in one of his factories and where my father was buried. And Khushwant Singh wrote that this was the spot he had chosen as his final resting place. His body was brought and buried there. A week later, a mango sapling sprouted out of the grave. And this has been transplanted next to where he was buried and will shade him for the rest of his life. Then the other thing that I know about Khushwant Singh, that he was a author, lawyer, diplomat, journalist, and a politician. These are 5 things that he is well known for. And this morning, before coming here, I opened the Wikipedia, and there were 65 pages on your father in that. And I would suggest that some of you open the Wikipedia and have a look at whatever is written about Khushwant Singh. The only other thing I'd like to add just very quickly is that he wrote his own epitaph. And this is what he wrote. I would like to be remembered as someone who made people smile. A few years ago, I wrote my own epitaph. Here lies one who spared neither man nor God. Waste not your tears on him, as he is a god. Writing nasty things he regarded as great fun. Thank the Lord he is dead, this son of a gun. That's his epitaph. And on that note, I'll pass you on to my dear friend, Karan Bilamoria. That's yours.
Thank you, Yusuf. And at the outset, just to build on what Yusuf has said, Khushwant Singh, for many of us, I mean, for me, is a name that I've known from my earliest memories as one of the most prominent people in India. And it's just a name I was brought up with as a child in India, and somebody who you just admired and respected, and who was, without any subjectivity, objectively brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and somebody who just was an individual who stood up and always said what he thought was the right thing, regardless, without fear or favor, and was respected throughout for that. And I'll come back to that at the end of my remarks, but like Rahul and Yusuf, I'm also a proud Cambridge alumnus, and yesterday Yusuf and I shared the platform at the business school, and we had a great India event, and you're going to be in Cambridge next week as well. And one of our professors at the Cambridge Arch Business School, which I had the privilege to chair for 5 years, Professor Mark Durand, describes serendipity as seeing what everyone else sees, but thinking what no one else has thought. And look at the serendipity of this particular event taking place, the Khushwant Singh Festival, now, at this particular moment of time in the eye of the storm. I was chairing a geopolitical event in London 2 weeks ago, and a senior services officer there said, "Please don't get me wrong. I'm not a pessimist. I'm only an optimist who's worried." And you know, that is the situation in the world today. There's just uncertainty, conflict everywhere around the world, and it is genuinely very worrying. And here we've got the Indian election results that are going to be out by the time you're in Cambridge next weekend. And we're in the midst of a UK election, a surprise election that none of us expected that is happening as we speak. So what a time to have this gathering. And I'm sure everyone will come away, hopefully, more informed, more educated, inspired, and most importantly, what this event does is it brings the UK and India together, but it also brings something that Khushwant Singh was, I think, brilliant at, and that is he was a genuinely creative person, and this is creativity in the UK and creativity in India being brought together and unleashed. So I wish you a very successful festival. Thank you to Rahul and Nilofer, and for all that you do. Thank you very much.
It is my privilege, hearing what I've heard this morning, to be in any way a small part of what is happening here today. I really am here as a part of SOAS for many, many years. Since 1974, I've been here at SOAS. And it's the second year that this festival is happening here. And it feels right to me that it should be here at SOAS. And it is here because just by chance, I was in Mumbai, and Rashmi Jolly is not only an alumnus of the course that I've run for many years, the Postgraduate Diploma in Asian Art, here at SOAS. That is how I happened to know Rashmi, first as an alumnus and then as a deep, sincere friend. When she told me that this was really what they wanted to do yet for another year, I said, I'm sure, of course it's possible, of course it's possible. So thanks to my consultancy, the part that I play now as a consultant for SOAS, my role as director of the alumni network across the world, I'm very privileged to be able to play a very small part in making this happen. So thank you, and thank you for all the work that I know that Nilofer has done tirelessly to make this happen, and Rashmi and all the other people involved in this program in the next 2 days.
Jan, a few words. Pushpinder, yeah.
Hi. Hello. My name is Pushpinder Chaudhary. We run Tongues on Fire UK Asian Film Festival, and our connection with this literature festival goes a long way back to emotional attachment of my dad to Khushwant Singh's writings that we were introduced to. So when we or myself had a chance to be little part of this, we were really feel privileged to be part of this, because as with our film festival, it's all about telling stories. And I'm interested in telling UK, British, Indian stories, the connection, the history, the heritage. But more importantly, I'm so impressed with the theme this year, which is to do with healing the world, which is so needed. And this is also the theme we work with at the festival. So thank you very much for making us part of this. Thank you.
I'd just like to also mention our media partner, Eastern Eye. Some of you have seen the paper here. Mr. Kalpesh Solanki, the owner and editor of the paper, is abroad, so he could not be present. But I'd also like to mention Rashmi Jolly. Please, Rashmi, could you stand up? Because Rashmi, Hetty mentioned her, and Rashmi has been helping us much beyond the call of duty, as they say, helping us with this Lit Fest. Thank you, Rashmi. Okay. Yeah, okay. Small token from the Khushwant Singh Lit Fest to the speaker, to the partners.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Rachel, for you. Okay, back to you, Rachel.
Thank you. Thank you to our distinguished supporters, partners, sponsors, thank you so much for your kind words.
Thank you.
I don't know if any of you were reading the Times this morning, but apparently it's an offence to mispronounce people's names. So if I do so when I'm introducing you, I'm quite happy to be reprimanded either then or later. And I'm now going to invite on stage Fakir Ejazuddin. Oh. Fakir, if I may, doesn't have a moderator, so let me just say a few words about him for those of you who don't know him. He's a leading art historian who specialised in 19th